Hey guys, it's Christina. If you don't already know, I had a motorbike accident 5 years ago, so I'm paralyzed. There's a tattoo there that says from here. So I'm paralyzed from there. I'm a T5 complete paraplegic, meaning like I cannot feel anything below that injury. And that was crashing a motorbike, doing freestyle motocross, jumping a 17-meter jump, obviously not landing it properly. And I'm here just basically because I haven't done a Q&A for a long time. I did do one after my accident on YouTube, but I got rid of that video and I just want to do a new one. A lot of new faces, and I just thought, why not do one? I haven't done a Q&A on my socials for a year. I used to do Q&As all the time, but ever since I met my partner Jessie over a year ago now, I just stopped getting so personal on my social media because I felt like, I actually don't really know. It was more so like I just stepped back and gave myself a break to put all my energy into the relationship that I was in. And now that it's been over a year and I've been with Jessie, I'm like, you know what, I can get back to, sharing more of my life on the socials, but I just felt like I needed a break. Sometimes you just need a break to step back, focus on some other things, and you can get back into it when you're ready. And I feel like that is the time. But yeah, feel free if you have any questions that I don't answer in this, or you want more, you just feel free to comment on this YouTube video. I will get back to you. I reply to everyone on YouTube and on my posts on social media. It's just my DMs I get really stuck with, so I'm really sorry. All right, let's just get into it because this is going to be a long video and I don't want it to be too long. Okay, are you and your man able to have babies? Is this something that you wanted? We are able. I'm able to get pregnant. I'm able to have apparently a natural birth, but like I would not want to do that to a baby. Apparently like they have to like plunge it out, and no thanks. I am able to, but I'd have a C-section. I don't want to though. I haven't had the motherly urge. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not waiting for it, but I thought that at one stage I'd like get to an age where I have that motherly urge to want babies, and I just haven't got to that. Jessie and I are both happy not to have kids. Will you be doing merch? So I've already got merch. I've already got leftover stuff. I just did the 2 pre-sales. I had leftover stuff. I will actually, I'll chuck in a video. I'll show you the office. Currently, I have been spending some time setting this all up so I can start selling it again, or getting into it, putting some more time into it. But I just, again, the plan with the merch was to wait till I started drifting. I just didn't want to put my energy into something until I was drifting and my car was done. And now that it's done, it's like, I am so excited to get back into some other hobbies and, selling some merch and getting creative with that. Do you think your relationship has changed with your boyfriend since the accident? Well, I've only met Jessie since the accident. My disability is like non-existent with this relationship, even though it's around, obviously, and we have to cater for me. It just doesn't feel like I have a disability in this relationship, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but how has sex changed since you can't feel anything anymore? How do you still enjoy it? So obviously, I'm trying to think, should I go back to last night? I feel like other than not being able to be like fully in control of the situation where, I think before my accident, I would have liked to I still initiate a lot of it. But I feel like not being able to like take control and have to completely rely on Jessie to do everything. That kind of aspect has changed. The whole sex though, like, I don't think has changed. If anything, it's like more focused on like making sure I'm satisfied, nipples, neck kisses, pulling, choking, like all that stuff that obviously turns me on has to be done to me. Otherwise it's not as enjoyable. Where before, I think I was just having really shit sex, like, to be honest. Like, I feel like when a guy's not focusing on pleasing the female, like, it's just not as enjoyable. Like positions wise and stuff like that hasn't changed. We do missionary, side, doggy, like just whatever position he could pull me in, like that hasn't changed. It's just the fact that I can't really do much without his assistance, and having an orgasm is like definitely need the vibrator on me. I can't feel it physically, but like mentally, and my whole body like fully tenses and gets goosebumps, and like you're having an orgasm, like my body's full spasming. I'm trying to think about that question because there's a lot to that question, and I could go on for hours, but this will go for too long. But basically I just feel like sex has changed because it's more of a mental stimulating experience for me now, rather than just banging and him coming and then having to use the vibrator to finish yourself off. Like, it's more of a like yeah, I don't know. It's great. What's your next big goal? I don't know. I don't think there's going to be really a big goal for this year. I just really want to learn drifting. I guess my next big goal would be to actually get to a level where I can compete, but I don't think that would be for another couple of years. Who was your biggest inspiration getting into drifting? I didn't have any inspirations. I didn't even know what drifting was, but when I did find out what drifting was, someone told me to search up Rob Parsons, Chair Slayer. He's an American drifter, and, you know, being able to watch him drift with his hands, I was just like, cool, he can do it, I can do it. You were so powerful explaining orgasms, etc. last year. It's all in your head. Share. Okay, so basically like what I was saying before. I think before my accident, I had seen like that stuff where like guys would make girls orgasm by like hovering their hand over them. And I was just like, what is this? Like, I kind of believe it, but like, how? Like, how can you have an orgasm? And like now being paralyzed, I totally get it. Like your mind is in such a state where you're relaxed and you're being vocal, like touch me, stimulate me. You are so turned on that when you have an orgasm that you can't physically feel, it's like phantom feeling. So my legs at the moment, I can like feel them without feeling them. I definitely can't. I burn myself all the time and I do not feel that. So I can't feel them, but you have a phantom sensation. So when we are, you know what I mean? You can hear it, you can see, I normally look, have him vocalize some stuff to me, do some stuff to me and all that. So when you have the orgasm, it's like you can picture it. The same as when I see someone stub their toe, like my toe starts throbbing. Like it's like I feel like my toes cut, and sometimes I even check because I get so paranoid that something's wrong with my toe because my toe is throbbing so much and it's like it's nothing. Same type of phantom feeling with the vagina area when you're having an orgasm. That's why I'm so vocal about that, because I feel like that is so important in so many relationships, like able body or not. I feel like it's very important to be mentally stimulated. Like without the mental stimulation, sex is boring. I would never want to go back to sex that doesn't mentally stimulate me. Like it is a waste of time. And anyways, I could go on for hours with that, but that just get mentally stimulated. Don't be afraid to ask your partner to do things that are going to fully turn you on. Like go into your fantasies, go into stuff, get them to say things, do things, whatever area gets sensitive. I'm sure everyone has a sensitive spot somewhere. Just get them to do that more. And like, you know, it's like an oven. You need to preheat it and preheat it to a point that it is hot and it is ready. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? On a big property with a big shed house, they're called. It's a house in a shed with my own drift skid pad with farm animals and a camel. Still, I really want a camel. Thank you also to anyone that's been leaving compliments. Thank you so much. You are beautiful and I appreciate you. Just the fact that people can leave a comment like that, it just says a lot about you. My dad brought me up, you know, trying to teach me just to compliment people and say nice things to people to make them smile. So the fact that you guys have made the effort to make me smile, I really appreciate it. But if I don't read out your compliments, just know I did read them and I do really, really appreciate them. What was your biggest health challenge before your injury? Does it still affect you? I had asthma. That was the biggest thing I guess I had to deal with. And it does affect me now because of where I'm paralyzed from. I don't have any abdominal muscles. So my lungs feel like they're just hanging. So right now on this couch, I've got back support, so I feel fine. I can talk really, really fast. But put me in my wheelchair and me sitting up without that like back support, I get like really out of breath. Like I could not talk like this right now if I was sitting in my wheelchair. It's hard to explain, but my lungs and I feel so out of breath. What's the benefit of removing the bolts from your back? Okay, so that was just a pain thing for me. Like everyone needs to talk to their own doctor about that. But for me, I was in pain 24/7. I drove a lot, and after like long drives to Adelaide and stuff like that, my back would like need 4 days minimum to recover. And I couldn't like twist and stuff, and I hated it. I don't like the idea of having stuff in my body that I don't need to. Your body rejects stuff like that. Like if you get a splinter, your body rejects it and sends it out of your body. So the thought of having like rods and stuff in me, my body knowing that's a foreign object and doesn't want it in there, like I feel like I just wanted them out. And I got them out and I feel so much better. I still have back pain all the time, but I feel so much better. What are your top 5 goals, things you want to achieve in the next 5 years? I would learn to drift. Good. Compete in a drifting competition. I want to go to Japan. Really want to travel with Jesse. Jesse's never been overseas and I really, really want to go traveling with him. Be happy. I always say that. I always picture myself in like, and I'm just like, I hope I don't get bitter. There is so many things in my life that I don't publicize online. And, you know, they bring me down, and it's just like, I just don't want these outside people or things or situations to make me bitter. So I hope I'm still happy and chirpy and don't turn into a miserable Karen. So I would love to do a podcast. Like, my best friend said it once, and now I've got another friend that says she really wants to do a podcast with me, and I think that'd be really cool. If I can actually do that, that'd be awesome. How did you meet Bakers? I love how he treats you. You absolutely deserve it. Okay, so thank you. I met Jesse. I was with Cam and Kalani in South Australia, and I was drifting with Cam, and that's one of Jesse's best mates. And Cam was resharing my stories or something. He must have seen me, so he followed me. I don't follow guys. Well, back then I was like, I don't follow guys unless there's a reason, unless there's like, I don't know, some similarities. And I thought he was really cute, and I was like, shit, what's my excuse to follow him? I'm like, oh, he's got an S13, same car as my car. I was like, oh, I'll just like use that as an excuse to like follow him. He's like a drifter. So I followed him, and then I went to Melbourne a couple months after that, and I seen him at the drift track, and I was in Cam's car again, and he came over and said hello, and he's like, hey, like, I'm Jesse. I'm like, I know, like, I knew because I recognized his face. I thought it was cute, and I really did want to talk to him, and I'm so glad he came to me anyways. And he sat in the car, said hello. It wasn't much from there, and then we just started chatting, and yeah, rest is history. Can you go to the toilet normally? No. I mean, I sit on the toilet for like half an hour. I also need to take Senecot, which is like a few tablets that are like, you know, I'm 5 years into this injury, and I still don't know how to describe this stuff correctly, but like, it basically pushes your stool so it goes to like the ready area. So I take that 12 to 16 hours before I want to poo, and then the day of pooing or the morning of, I put a Duralax suppository. It's like a wax bullet. I put that up my bum with gloves, of course, and lube. Put that up my bum, let that sit for 10 minutes while I lay on the bed, jump on the toilet. Depending on how full I am, or if I need to go at the time or not, I might or might not need to manually stimulate. 9 times out of 10, I do manually stimulate it. So I just open it up, get it going, and then I just push like on my intestines. So you just push across and massage it out. And like, I feel like most people could benefit from that, because people that get constipated and sit on the toilet and just try to push, I'm like, just massage across and down on your left side. It would do wonders. Like, I can't push, and I'm able to poo just by massaging. Bring back unhinged Christina. I know, Jesse. It's a mate from Queensland. Like, I used to be very unhinged, and unhinged Christina might be back, but I kind of need to keep it professional, because I'm trying to get sponsors for drifting, and like corporate and all that stuff really need like a professional type of athlete profile. And even though that goes against everything that I believe in, like, I like to be authentic myself. Like, sometimes I'm like, you can't afford drifting, you need sponsors, leave the unhinged stuff, or, you know what I mean, it's not needed. So maybe she'll come back, maybe she won't, I don't know, we'll see. Did you recover your burns? Did they end up fading? No, because I don't look after them, I don't cream. You can add stuff to help heal, but I like scars, I like collecting them, so I just let them go. Bring on the OnlyFans. There was a few of those. Honestly, the OnlyFans is like that little fucking devil on my shoulder that's like, do it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say no, I'm not gonna say yes. But their way to get into drifting without having a car. Drifting SA actually do this. You can hire a car, so go to Drifting SA, the schedule, they've got the prices, everything. You only need to bring like clothing, they've got the helmets and everything, and you can actually hire a car for like 45 minutes and learn to drift. Like, I think that's really cool. I think after that you'll want to build your own car. Do you see marriage or kids in your future? Never pictured a wedding. That doesn't excite me at all. Commitment is nice to show that they're not just like a boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, you want to be with this person for the rest of your life. But the idea of marriage, like, do not want it. Jesse doesn't want it, thank God. But if he did change his mind and say, hey, look, I do want to get married, or I want you to have my last name, like, all for it. I'll do it. But I don't want to have a wedding. Like, I'd go get eloped on the beach. I want to do a drift team. I want to convert a whole bunch of girls in Victoria to start drifting. It's only like a few, like a handful of girls, and I keep saying this to Jessie, like, I'm gonna get like the SA girls have glitter gang girls, and I'm gonna create my own little team here in Victoria, I hope. But we'll see. You have pain, how do you deal with it? I have pain all the time. I just deal with it. Like, my my back right now is hurting and I don't deal with it other than like having hot showers or resting. I rest a lot. I let my body rest. Is Baker single? No. Bringing the S13 to Glitter Gang Day in SA next year. Definitely that is on the card. It's already in my schedule. Definitely not going to miss that. What's your end goal with your drift car driving comps? Also, is your setup the first in a drift car? Yeah, definitely want to do comps. Like that is the main goal. I've got a competitive bone in me. I don't even need to be good. I just like to be competitive. So I think it's so fun to compete, even if I'm coming last. Like that wouldn't faze me. So definitely comps. And for my setup, yes, the rest of it, like the 3-speed automatic gearbox and the handbrake, I copied Tyson from Queensland. But he's got a ring on his steering wheel. Actually, on another note, I am the first female paralysed driver in Australia. Just wanted to state that because I think that's pretty cool. Does it make you upset, worried seeing the way your sister rides bikes? No, she's having fun just like I was with riding my dirt bike. As long as she's having fun. I mean, of course it worries you, but like, I don't want anything but happiness for my sister. So she do whatever she does, and as long as it's making her happy, that's all I care about. I had a boyfriend with spinal injury and he was sleeping lots of hours, never had energy. Bro, that is me. Like, I swear, like, I feel like people forget social media is a highlight reel. And people are like, oh, you got so much energy. You go, yeah, like, when I'm in my ADHD hypo mood, or when most of the time I'm in bed, dead. Like, I'm just like resting or tired because like going out to the shops would exhaust me. Also, I think that I have a health issue going on. Maybe have celiac disease. I am going to have surgery soon for that. So that might have a lot to do with it, but definitely low energy. When are you drifting next and where? I don't know, because apparently the next drift school's in March. I don't want to wait till March. So I'm curious your take about the welcome to the country all the time. Also, how do I buy Uncaged gear? So hopefully I will do the Uncaged website soon. Also with the welcome to the country, I don't like to be like political on anything. Like, I feel like I don't like to take life seriously at all. Personally, it does not bother me and it does not affect me. If something does not bother me and affect me and like ruin my mood and ruin my day, I just don't care. The way I see it is I believe that Australia has this beautiful, rich culture, you know, that's over 60,000 years old. And, you know, if we have an opportunity to have it on display and see it, especially like at the AFL games, like, I think it's beautiful. I love it. Whether people want to get upset because it's like, oh, like I see like a lot of like Aussies on posts and saying like, oh, I don't need to be welcome to my own country, and they get all offended by it. And so it's just like, at the end of the day, if I like to take the opportunity to appreciate a culture, I'd never got to witness it growing up. A little bit, sorry. I did witness a little bit of it growing up because I lived in rural South Australia where we have a high Indigenous population. But I feel like as a country, we should appreciate a rich culture like that and be able to see the dancing and the paint and the singing and the didgeridoo. Like, I think any opportunity to show that is amazing, and we should appreciate that. When it comes to like every day and like, you know, if it's being overused or whatever, like, I get like, again, I don't really have an opinion. It's like, if it doesn't affect my mood, it might not be necessary at every single meeting or this or that. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't hurt me and bother me and it makes someone else happy, then I'm happy. Like, what's your favorite pasta? Okay, I do not know how to pronounce this, Adrian. I am so sorry. So I'm going to put the link here. You go to this website and get this pasta. It's from South Australia. It's 100% organic. It's like, it's amazing. I will never go back to normal pasta. This pasta tastes beautiful. Thank you, Adrian, for getting me onto it, because he sent me a package and now I just love it. Does it impact your relationship being in a wheelchair? I feel like it impacts the relationship in the sense of like what we can do. Or, you know, we have to accommodate my needs in the sense of like whether I'm cold or, you know, I can't go to certain places or do certain activities like walk down the beach. So, for example, the other day when we went on a lunch date, we went to a jetty, ate some fish and chips from a chair and walked down the jetty. Like, couldn't go along the beach. Like, you just like go do other things. Like, I don't feel it impacts it in a negative way. It just impacts what we decide to do, if that makes sense. When did you know it was love? With Jesse, I mean, not drifting. I think the first weekend I spent with him, I was like, in my head, you know when you say, oh God, I love this guy. But like, not in like a what's the word, love bombing way, and just like, fuck, I love everything about him. I love his energy. I love everything. Even though it took me about 3 to 4 months to like fall in love, I knew like the whole time. Like you just have this feeling. You have this sense like this is the one. It's fine. You're safe now. You're home. Actually, that's the best way to describe it. You feel like you have arrived home, and no matter where you are with that person, just feel safe and content. Like I feel so fulfilled. That's why I like dropped back from socials and stuff like that. It was just like I just didn't need anything out of what was going on between me and Jesse, and I just backed off on the socials. And now I'm like, oh, but I miss my friends. So I want to come back. How is your new relationship going? Is he the one? Yes, he is. Yeah, it's going great. Like I have nothing negative to say. Like of course no relationship is perfect. I'm like an emotional roller coaster. Like I'm going through a lot of health issues. Like I swear it's going through like menopause, but I'm not. But it feels like I'm going through menopause. And I sometimes look at Jesse, I'm like, do you still love me? Like I am a psycho right now, just all over the place. I'm an emotional wreck, and he's just so patient with me and just lets me feel my emotion and just gives me a hug, never invalidates me. When we've had any issues or something, it's like caused a little bit of a, not an argument, but like a, frustration or something, we just straight away vocalize it. Like straight away say, hey, look, I didn't like how you said that because I think this is what you mean. And he'll be like, no, I mean this. And it's like all miscommunication and stuff. Like it's not perfect, but the way we resolve it, like instantly, to me is perfect. Like I've never been in a relationship where we don't hold grudges. So technically we're happy all the time. Like I feel like we're just happy. He never leaves and I'm just like, I'm mad at, like, just happy. I feel like the relationship is just like, not 50-50 all the time, but it's always 100%, no matter what. Whether he's giving 70% and I'm giving 30, or if I'm giving 90% and he's giving 10, it's just always 100%. We make sure it's 100% all the time. I have a pacemaker for my bladder, and I was wondering, how do you cope with your bladder issues? I'm not too sure what that means with a pacemaker for your bladder. I should have researched that, but I'm only reading these now. My bladder issues, I just like time everything. Like I'm aware of like how much I'm drinking and how long it takes for that fluid to pass. And I cheat. I forgot I cheat. A couple of years ago, I started getting goosebumps. So I get goosebumps. If I get goosebumps like 3 times in a row, I'm like, yeah, I gotta piss. Otherwise, sometimes if I get goosebumps once, twice, I'm like, could be a fart coming through, and I just let it go. But if I get it like 3 times, I'm like, I need to go do a catheter. Oh, no questions, just compliments. Thank you guys. You're such an inspiration. How do you do it each and every day? What keeps you going? Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not like this 24/7. I'm not sure who is like this 24/7. I don't believe anyone is. I'm not like this all the time. I'm in a good mood now. Like if you asked me to film this last week, I would have said, fuck off. Nah, sorry, I would never say that to you. But I was just like, no, I'm not filming. I'm in a shit mood. I'm not doing this. Like I'm not like this all the time. No one is. Everyone's like you just go into moods, and the only way to keep going is when I recognize when I'm in a shit mood. I know I'm in a shit mood. I'm not going to film. I let myself rest. I'm like, no, I'm not filming. No, I'm not doing this for that person. I'm not doing this. I'm resting because I recognize that my brain needs a break. It's like going, how you take your car to the mechanic all the time. I recognize my brain needs to go to the mechanic, get some shit fixed, sort it out. So that way when I come back, I'm fully functioning and working. Like I feel great now, and knowing that you have to get back into it, and even when you don't want to. So I force myself to do things even when I don't want to do them, because I know that's the only way to break a cycle. Like you can't, otherwise you're just gonna get stuck in the same hole. How did you get into the car drift world, and is it a hard thing to get into? Not hard, it's expensive. I got into it because a friend just invited me out to a drifting event, and I didn't know what it was. I thought of Tokyo Drift, and I thought of like burnouts while driving fast around a circuit, and I was just like, that sounds good. Like I've never heard of it, I've never really done it, but sounds great. So I did it, and then I bought my drift car 2 weeks later. I'd say it's hard to get into only because it's expensive, but you can do you don't have to do anything like I did, where I went full extreme, full build from scratch. You can buy an already built drift car secondhand, or grab another car. You can get AU Falcon, put a roll cage in it, do some stuff. Like a lot of people can do budget drift builds. It's just expensive. It's a very high maintenance sport. Oh, I like this question. Are there any things that people do around you that make you uncomfortable or bother you? There is one thing that I've noticed that makes me uncomfortable. For example, the one thing that makes me uncomfortable is when people grab me by my chair and start pushing me without telling me or asking me or whatever. And the reason that makes me uncomfortable, I guess, it's like, picture yourself driving. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with people pushing you. I just picture this. You're in your car and you're driving your car, and then the passenger all of a sudden starts steering the steering wheel for you. They're doing it fine. They're driving on the road. There's nothing wrong. You're not in danger. But that feeling of like, hold on, now I'm not in control and you didn't ask me, that's what makes me uncomfortable. When people just start pushing me and they think it's harmless, but it's like, you gotta realize like my wheelchair is my vehicle, my car. And when someone else takes control, I'm like, are they going to see this ditch? Are they going to see that hole? And I'm paranoid that if they don't see something in front of me, like a crack or something that I'm normally in control of and, can wheelie up over it, I'm going to fall out of my chair. And it doesn't make me mad. It's like a very uncomfortable feeling. I'm like, hold on, like, and sometimes I let people do it. I ask people though, like, I don't mind, like, especially when I'm going up a hill and stuff, people are like, do you need a push? And they start pushing. I'm like, oh, thank God, thank you did this. I was struggling, like, so it depends, like, but some situations like that. Do you and Irene find it hard being away from each other? I guess so. It's shit. It's not hard. It's just shit. Like, every time we're together, it's amazing. We bounce off each other, and I have my best energy when I'm around my sister. But we FaceTime, like, minimum 10 times a day. Like, we are always in contact. Do you think your ex broke up with you because of your accident? I broke up with my ex. So what would your advice be on someone in a toxic relationship? My advice would be to leave. When I tell people stories of like the things I've been through or the stuff that I used to put up with in previous relationships, people are just like, why did you stay? Like, why didn't you leave? And I feel like that is the most insulting thing you could say to someone in a toxic relationship. If you could, you would. But you're not. You're like mentally abused to the point where you think you're trapped. And I just want you to understand that you're not alone. A lot of women have been through this and they managed to escape and they do not regret their decisions. Understand there is more to life than being upset. You don't need someone in your life. You're better off single. You're better off discovering who you are. It's so scary to leave a toxic relationship because of the family or the relationship or, the threats and stuff that can happen after. You've got to put yourself first and understand, if you stay in this relationship, that's your decision and you got to take accountability for that. It's a hard pill to swallow. And when you do though, you're never going to turn back. I guess some advice would be to prepare yourself for a breakup, understand what's going to happen after. Prepare to just let go, like completely let go. Don't stay connected in any way. My advice would be to go to family, somewhere where you can go and you can be safe. We'll try to come back and reach out and just cut them off. And build some boundaries. While you're in the relationship, just think of some non-negotiables that you can't do and start building those boundaries and see if they push them. And if you push them, it's like, it just answers a question for yourself whether you can deal with this for the rest of your life. And my biggest thing that helped me was picturing, not that I want kids, but picturing, if I had kids, do I want my kids to be like this person? And I feel like that's like, once you ask yourself that and your instant reaction is like, fuck no, then what are you doing with them? Like, don't think about yourself because that's what you're mentally trapped, but it's bigger than that. So you want to think of the people around you, kids it could affect, and hopefully that helps you leave. I'm really curious if you can roll over in your sleep or do you just stay in one spot? I stay in one spot. I'm like this. If I roll over, I'm awake. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm uncomfortable, and I go on my side. But even then, I hardly ever go on my side. I probably go on my side once every 6 months. There are more questions, but this is going for so long. If I missed your question, I'm really, really sorry about that. Hopefully I will be doing a Q&A on my Instagram. You can ask again. If I don't get back to you, ask me the question on one of my posts. DMs get lost, but on my posts, I do get back to people within 24 hours. Otherwise, just keep trying. I'm sorry. But yeah, anyways, it is date night tonight and I am in charge. Josie and I are taking turns with date night. And because he's been so amazing, helping with my drift car, doing a lot for me lately, I thought I would take him to Indian tonight, a new restaurant that we haven't been to, and take him go-karting. So I do need to go, and I hope that answered people's questions. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day or night, whatever it is. Mwah.